Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we started up the season simulation after making a tough trade, trading away Eberle and also Louis Varr to the Boston Bruins, but our team managed to still start off the season very, very strong. As you can see, 32-7-3. Which currently has us as the second best team in the NHL. Yes, the second best team, because the Philadelphia Flyers have also been simulating very well. They're 33-6-2, and they've played one less game than us, as you can see if we go here to entire league standings. It's been a pretty big showing from both these two teams, and then there's like a 10-point gap separating us in third place. So I think if anything's going to happen this year for some reason, I feel like both of these two teams will get cheesed early on into the playoffs, and Anaheim will finally find a way to win that Stanley Cup, because I know that they definitely deserve a Stanley Cup at some point. They did lose Trevor Zegras to retirement last offseason, but I do think they definitely have a chance still at being a Cup contender very soon. So hopefully we end up winning it, but if not, hopefully the Ducks do, because the Flyers, obviously, I don't really know if I would want the Flyers to win it, but they're definitely a fun team to watch, and they've only been getting better over the last few years, so will be exciting to see what ends up happening with that. Also, in terms of our players, we've been getting good production from everybody as per usual. It's just been a full-on team effort, as you can see, led by Arthur Jaquizi with 55 points. And then you have a bunch of other guys that are under point per game, but you have a lot of guys on like 10-plus goals, so everybody's been contributing to the offensive load for this team, which is very nice. And then from a defensive standpoint, you can see Vandermeer's on 40 points through 42 games, so maybe on pace for another Norris Trophy. It's been a very good run from this team so far, and who knows, maybe we'll win another President's Trophy, which would be our 6th straight if we do that. And if we don't win the President's Trophy, that's okay. If we win another Stanley Cup, that would be like our 4th in the last like 5 years or something like that. So definitely hoping continue on this momentum and win some more hardware for this team. If not, individual accolades would be interesting too. So like if these guys win like Art Rosses and stuff like that, or Norris trophies, because we have a lot of team awards, but we don't have a lot of individual awards with this team, which is also kind of an outstanding feat. So it would be nice to see some guys win some individual hardware, but at the same time, team hardware comes first before individual accolades. So anyways, there's that. Let's get into your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll probably simulate the rest of the season making no trades, because honestly I don't think this team needs to make any trades. So the first comment is from Michael Dos, who says, Jaquizi may be the most underrated player you've ever had. The guy seems overshadowed by Irving, yet puts up great numbers. And yeah, I'd say Jaquizi kind of flies under the radar a little bit with this team. Like, he's definitely one of the most prominent players usually on the team, but him, kind of like Groshek as well, I would say, they kind of fly under the radar behind the likes of Aiden Irving for sure. Also, I would say maybe Wilson kind of overshadows them a little bit too. Maybe not too much. But yeah, Arthur Jaquizi's been really good. As you can see, this is his career numbers at this point in time. 532 points through 616 games. Now, the crazy thing with him, he's actually an elite shorthanded player. As you can see, 10 shorthanded goals, 25 career shorthanded points. So he does it all pretty much for this team. Also, great takeaway numbers. So hopefully he could help us out again once we get to the playoffs. And then in terms of the playoff stats, obviously last year he won the Conn Smythe in the playoffs, but he's had some really good playoff numbers as well. 98 career points through 117 games, 34 goals, 64 assists. He also has 2 career shorthanded goals in the playoffs and 6 shorthanded points. So he might be one of my best shorthanded two-way kind of guys of all time. And then if we go down to, I think it was, oh yeah, where his stats were. You can see he was drafted in the 5th round, so he was a major, major steal. Has 99 offensive awareness and defensive awareness, so obviously I'd like to keep Jaquizi here till he retires. That is probably going to be another contract he's going to need at least, because he is signed for 3 more seasons, but he has been definitely one of the best players in the series. But also, like you were saying, he has flown under the radar a little bit at times just because Aiden Irving has been the GOAT for most of it. So will be interesting to see how these guys' careers stack up once they all get retired, because you can see Irving's already 32, so Irving could be on his way out within the next few seasons, which is kind of crazy, which means Jaquizi will get even a bigger opportunity probably to make a living for himself. The next comment is from Cadillac, who says, good start to the season, and I totally agree. This has probably been one of the best starts I've ever had to a season, 32-7-3. Like, I think we're on pace for, like, 62 wins if I was doing some math correctly earlier. And, yeah, that would be better than last year, because last year we had 60 wins and won the Stanley Cup. So, who knows, maybe we can win 62 and also win a Stanley Cup. But it depends on, I guess, how this team simulates in the second half. If we're still going to be great offensively and defensively, good on the special teams, that type of thing. And the last and final comment is from Sound Otaku, who says, it's as if every player on this team is a cheat code. Jets Flyers would be an absolute lit cup final if you continue on this pace, but you're both likely to be first round exits because EA. Next episode, stop after game 50 to see if Koivisto hits 50 goals. And yeah, we'll definitely do that with Koivisto, because Koivisto on the Flyers, not the one on the Ducks. There's two of them out there. Basically, they have been tearing up the league completely, which is insane. You can see Joni Koivisto on the Ducks is on pace for over 140 points. Meanwhile, Pekka Koivisto has 45 goals in 41 games. So there is a realistic chance that this guy might hit 50 goals before game 50 of the season, which is pretty damn crazy. I don't think I've seen that happen in this type of mode before, but it could end up happening. So the Flyers have been led by him. They've also been led by Riley Falk, and I'm assuming they've been led by Liam Hedstrom? Ludvig Hedstrom, yeah. So that's their top line is Ludvig Hedstrom, Mr. Riley Falk, and Pekka Koivisto. So we got to watch out for that line if we ever play the Flyers in a Stanley Cup Finals at some point. But we'll definitely see if Pekka Koivisto ends up scoring more goals. He's only in his 4th NHL season. He's already scored 40 goals every single year. Last year he had 62 goals, and he's on pace to crush that with a 90-goal season. So it will be insane to see if he actually finishes that high up. The crazy thing about this guy, too, is he plays apparently on their short-handed unit, too. So he's only 21 years old, but he is already maybe going to become one of the best goal scorers of all time at this rate. Like 194 goals in 287 games. That's an insane pace. And he's already a career plus 100 too. So, yeah, the Koivisto brothers might be the best brothers we've ever seen in a franchise mode. You can see there's like 6 years separating the two of them. But we'll definitely say that they're related because, yeah, Pekka is from Finland. And obviously Yanni should be from Finland too because, yeah, there you go. Thought so. They're both getting paid big bucks, which also makes sense. Okay, so that is good. I think we're ready to continue simulating. And we'll see if Pekka Koivisto ends up hitting that 50-goal plateau before game 50. So he's at 41 games played. So let's do like simulate through 3 games and then just take a look at his stats after 3 games. Just because may as well do it like that because I don't want to go too quick and then miss out on when he actually hits 50. So let's go through our 3 games next. We lost in a shootout there, but that's okay as Dallas fires their head coach. Not that that matters. We lose in a win in a shootout and win in regulation. We're up to 34-7-4. Let's take a look at Koivisto now as Jaqueezi is now up to 60 points. Damn, Jaqueezi picked up 5 points in those 3 games. Jaqueezi is definitely making a name for himself this season, which is great. Love this guy. And he's definitely getting more attention than he's used to. Koivisto is now up to 47 goals in 44 games, which means he went up by a couple goals, I think, in those 3 games. Yeah, he's going to hit 50 before 50 games played because he just needs 3 goals in the next 6 games, unless he falls off a cliff. This guy is going to hit 50 goals quite easily. When do the Flyers play next? Do they play today, out of curiosity? Oh, we can't even take a look. Oh, I wish I could see like box scores and stuff from other teams, but it is what it is. And also from our own games, that would be nice. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? We didn't simulate any of our own games, but the Flyers might have played some games in between, so always good to take a look in case. It's kind of weird watching somebody else on a different team, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious on this guy. 48 goals now in 45 games. He's going to probably do it. He's probably going to do it. Jesus Christ. What a guy. How long is it going to take him to hit that 50-goal plateau? Is it going to be today if the Flyers are playing? Let's go a day and take a look again. There's another overtime win for our team. Our team is cruising still. We're almost at 40 wins on the season as well. I wonder if the Flyers are still winning games, probably. Considering Koivisto scores like every single game almost that they play in. Let's see. Philadelphia. Not yet. Koivisto has not played a game since, I guess. Okay. Still needs 2 goals in 5 games, so maybe actually they did play, but they didn't. He didn't get any points, which would be surprising, or goals, I should say. 6-5 loss to the Avs. That's our first loss in a while, but that's okay. I'll take losses here and there. Because obviously if we win the President's Trophy, there's a higher chance we might be a first-round exit, so even though we've technically won a lot of Stanley Cups while winning the President's Trophy at the same time. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Pekka Koivisto has hit 51 goals now in 46 games. He just came off a hat-trick performance. 51 goals in 46 games. That's incredible. That is one of the most dominant goal scorers I think I've ever seen, and I don't know how much he finishes with, but he should be at least a 70-goal person this season. That's insane. Like, I believe he's still on pace for an insane year. Like, let me open up my calculator here and do some math here and see what he's on pace for. I know some of you guys could probably do this in your head, but I'm not a mathematician, so let's times that by 82 games played. If he plays all 82, he's on pace still for a 90-goal season, or a 91-goal season maybe even. Insane. What about Anaheim's Koivisto? Is he still putting up a lot of numbers? 78 points now. God damn. And Leo Carlsson's on 72. Insane. Okay, well, let's continue to simulate. We'll simulate to a day before the deadline and then make some decisions if we want to make trades or not. I don't think we're going to make any trades because our team is still pretty much cruise control, so I don't think there's going to be any room for improvement with this roster as we do win 3 more games. We just beat Arizona 11-2. Yeah, that definitely makes up my mind that I think we don't need to make trades. But we're probably going to be a first-round exit if I don't, but that's okay. We don't have a game for the entire week, so there must be an Olympic break or something here, or the All-Star break, something like that. But let's go through these 3 games here to start off the month of February. OT win, a loss, and a win. 49-4. That's insane. We don't even have 10 regulation losses, and we already have 40 regulation wins. We're up to 84 points. The Flyers are also on 84 points, so the Flyers are staying neck and neck with us trying to get that President's Trophy, which is pretty nuts. All right, let's go to the end of this month. Do we even have any games against the Flyers down the stretch? Because I'm curious on that. No, we do not. I guess we already played our games against them. I wish I could go to the box score for those games because I'm curious on if Koivisto had like a hat trick against us this season or something like that. Because like Sanartaku was mentioning, that would be an insane Stanley Cup Finals matchup. A loss and a win. Baker for a fifth, and a defenseman that's making $7.62 million. No, thank you. I don't need to take on a contract like that, especially for an extra year. That's kind of a weird offer, but it is what it is. Yeah, our team's still cruising. There's another loss, but 45-11-4 at March the 1st, which has us at 94 points already through 60 games. And the Flyers still have 94 points through 59, so they still have the same amount of points as us, but through one less game. That's insane. I don't know how they're keeping up with us, but they are. It must be Koivisto. Must be. There's another loss. That's okay, because that maybe hurts us in terms of winning the President's Trophy. As Jacquizzi has been injured with a sprained ankle. That's not good, considering he was leading us in points. Let's go replace player for the time being. At least we should be able to still win games without Jacquizzi, but that's not the type of injury you want to see. At least he's still going to be back for the playoffs and all that, but let me take a look at who it put into his spot, because I don't know if I know who it would be in that spot. Mishenko got put into the top 6. That's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it, because I think he's more offensively driven anyways. Yeah, he's a playmaker, so playing him next to a sniper like Groshek, and then also Bickle's a playmaker. Not bad idea, so let's leave Mishenko up there in the top 6. Might as well. How's our AHL team doing, out of curiosity? Because our NHL team's cruising. AHL team, not so much. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Well, the youth movement is not doing too well down there. Apparently 13, 33, and 5. Yikes. So they're almost like complete reverse of what we're doing in the NHL. It is what it is, though. They might not have the best coaching staff, but the Flyers are still cruising on 95 points. We're actually a point above them now in the same amount of games played. Okay. Will be interesting to see who ends up winning the President's Trophy, because it's definitely one of the two of our teams. Because there's no other teams even remotely close. Like the Ducks, I think, are 14 points back of us currently, right? Let's see. Yeah, the Ducks are 14 points back of the Flyers. They're 15 points back of us. So it's definitely between us and Philadelphia on who's going to win the President's Trophy this season. Okay, well, Jacqueezy's injury could dictate what ends up happening. I don't think I'm going to make any trades. Just it's kind of pointless with how good this roster is. So I'm not even going to really bother looking at this trade deadline here. We're just going to go continue simulating. We just lost to Colorado. That could be a factor in terms of who wins the President's Trophy or not, too. Let's take a look at the trade deadline trades, just in case there's any former players getting flipped, and just for fun. So we've lost back-to-back games since Jacqueezy got injured, but that's okay. But in terms of trades, any former players that I recognize or people that I recognize getting dealt, Casper Holtzonen, Habshai, don't think I know any of these guys so far. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't know any of these dudes. Sapovalov, I know obviously because he's a real guy. Lapalainen got dealt back to Anaheim. That's interesting. So Anaheim's loading up apparently, which is not great for us. But Lapalainen was in Anaheim at one point. So that's interesting to see him going back. Ludwig Enroth got dealt to the Boston Bruins after his insanely good year. So Enroth is now playing again with Eberle, which is really sick, actually. He's also playing with Louis Vara, but him and Eberle actually had good chemistry together. Like, I'm pretty sure when I looked at their teammate things, both of them had high chemistry with each other still. So Enroth and Eberle reunited in Boston. Unless Eberle got dealt, which I doubt he did, but damn, that's quite interesting. Should definitely take a look at how Enroth has been doing this season, because he was doing good at one point last year with the 40-something goals, because I think I took a look at that in last episode. So let's head over to Boston and see. Actually, I should go to edit lines just so I could see where they're actually playing those two guys, because it'll be interesting to see where they're matched up. If Boston's going to make the playoffs this year, that'll be interesting as well. So Eberle is on the third line, which kind of sucks. I was hoping he'd be in the top 6. And Enroth, where's Enroth? Or am I blind? Where is Enroth? Did he get sent to the AHL? Louis Vara's in the top 4, which is good. But did Enroth get sent down to the AHL after that trade? Because they don't have the cap space? Because I've seen AI make stupid decisions before, but that could be one of them. Let's just go forwards here. Sort this by overall. Yeah, Enroth got sent to the AHL because he's making $10.75 million. And he's coming. He had literally 58 points and 35 goals. They traded for him. And then for some reason, he's now in the AHL. I would assume they're going to call him up, but they need to probably... They have the cap space to call him up. So if they don't call him up, I am very confused at the logic of this game. But it is what it is. Let's continue to simulate here because let's just try not to focus on the flaws that this game has sometimes. But let's go through another... all the way to the 21st. And then I think we should get Jacqueezy back soon, which is nice. I don't need Oliver Kapanen on waivers. Thank you, though. 2 straight losses, actually. I thought it was 3 straight. Oh, yeah, Kurt Goldman was injured, too. I completely forgot about Goldman being injured long-term last episode. I completely forgot about that. That's insane. So, Hansen going down to the 4th line. Hurd going to the 4th line left wing. Lannon coming out. Goldman comes in. Goldman also goes into the power play, right? Yeah, it was right here instead of Mishenko, I think. No, that's Jacqueezy's spot. So Goldman would come in instead of... Who was it that was not on this power play? Or wait, was Goldman not even on the power play? No, no, it was instead of Bulbrook, that's right. Yeah, because we gave Bulbrook a little bit more opportunity to develop himself. I had to remember where he was. And that should be good, pretty much. Mishenko will get replaced once Jacqueezy is back. But Goldman back into full health is great. He was doing well, but obviously his injury was like a concussion, and yeah, he missed like a good chunk of the season because of that, as Jacqueezy is also back to full health, which is great. So even though our team has been as dominant as they were missing one of their better centers, which is kind of crazy. So you can see how deep this team is on paper, like that. So there you go, Jacqueezy back in, and we're back to full health. Hopefully that stays like that till the playoffs, because that'd be nice. Why does this game hate me? Esteban Walter has been injured with a concussion. He will be back, it looks like, for the playoffs, but unfortunately, Walter's regular season, I believe, is done. So that's kind of sucks. I guess I could put Hansen up there. Sure, let's put Hansen on that line. Hurd goes to the middle, and we will put in Lannon as a 4th liner again. Of course, Walter had to literally get injured, though. Goddamn, man. It's like literally like cursed. Yeah, we definitely haven't been playing super good over the last 5 games. We've lost 4 of our last 5, but that's okay. Because honestly, we don't need to dominate the entire season. But that definitely hurts our chance of winning another President's Trophy. But I would rather the Stanley Cup rather than a President's Trophy. So we'll see if that ends up helping us at all. And of course, after I said that, we win 5 straight games. And then we lose in a overtime game. But we won 11-6 against the LA Kings. So against Michael Misa's team, which is kind of crazy. And we're up to 52, 16, and 5. We're at 109 points. The Flyers are still behind us. So the Flyers have been going through a little bit of a dry patch as well, looks like, which is kind of surprising. Let's go to the 12th, go through these 4 games. See how we wrap up the season as Quentin Reese has been injured. Let's go replace Perron there. That's not great. That's a depth/top 6 defenseman. He's already back already, though, which is great. Always nice when those injuries don't last too long term. So we will take Greer back out, I believe it was. And I think, yeah, it was Reese in this spot. Perfect. Few more games to go. Oscar Olas on waivers. 76 listed as a depth defenseman, low 7th D. Offensive defenseman, which is kind of neat, but at the same time, I don't think I have any use for this guy. Only to 4 points in 20 games, never played a playoff game. Yeah, I don't really have the use for him. 83 loss and a 7-1 win. We're up to 55 wins. We cannot hit 60 wins like last season, but we could definitely hit 59. And we're up to 115 points. Have we clinched the entire league? No, we have not. The Flyers are also on 115 points. So it's coming down to us and the Flyers still. And the Ducks have caught up a little bit. They're up to 107 points. So they've definitely made up some headway through the second half of the season. Who will end up winning the President's Trophy is the question. Let's go through these 3 games. There's a 5-0 win. Walter is actually back for the playoffs. I didn't think that he would, or for the regular season. I didn't think he'd be back because I didn't think there was enough time. But there is, which is nice. So we'll take Landon out. Walter will come back in. Now we're back to full health again. Let's just stay healthy, boys. There's another win and another win. Goddard is back, but he was never injured. And going into the last game of the season, we have 121 points. The Ducks are at 113. The Flyers are also at 121 points. So if we win the President's Trophy, I think. Actually, maybe not. No, maybe they win it. I don't know. They might actually have the chance to win it here. So it's going to be interesting to see who ends up winning it. If it's us again, so be it. If it's not, so be it. Let's see. This last game of the season is a loss, which means the Philadelphia Flyers have won the President's Trophy by 2 points. So unfortunately, no President's Trophy to keep up our streak. However, we do finish as the second best team behind a very good Flyers team. And I think we're probably the better of the 2 teams just based on our prior success. But you never know. You never know. All right. Let's take a look at our player stats and team stats for the season. Let me make sure that everybody's simulated and done. I think everybody should be done, right? Yeah, everybody's done. Okay, good. Let's take a look at our team stats here for the season. That's kind of surprising and that we didn't win the President's Trophy. Yeah, look at that, by 2 points. And then the Ducks actually almost caught up to us. They're 8 points back. But after that, there's only 6 teams that hit 100-plus points this season. And literally us in Philadelphia at 120-plus points, which is insane. All right. In terms of goals for per game, we were the best offensive team despite finishing second in the league, which is great to see. We are also the best defensive team. Wow. So good offense, good defense, and we're second best. Power play percentage, we were number 1 as well. So that's 3 things we were best at. 33.5% on the power play compared to the next closest at 25.8. Our power play was legit like cheese. 75 power play goals. Insane. And our penalty kill was also the best. I was the best at everything. I feel like I could retire as a GM now. That's like the most impressive season I think I've ever seen. We don't win the President's Trophy, but we're first in power play percentage, penalty kill percentage, goals for, and goals against. We're definitely going to get cheese, though, at this rate. We also had the 3rd most shorthanded goals in the league. We are 29-9-3 on home ice, 29-10-2 on the road, and 6-3-1 in our last 10 games. I actually do want to go back to the calendar here first before we look at player stats, because I am curious of our games against the Flyers if we lost them or won them. Because both of our teams dominated this season, so it'll be interesting to see who had the better season success against each other. So, Philadelphia, where did we play the Flyers? Oh, there's one. We lost 6-5 back on December the 5th. That was in Philadelphia, and then we lost in overtime to them as well. So those two games decided the President's Trophy winner, basically, which is kind of insane to think about, but it is what it is. At least we had the best stats in terms of everything. We just didn't win the President's Trophy. Let's take a look at some player stats now and see how good everybody did on this team. Oh my goodness, the depth scoring. I am excited to look at this. So Ludwig Ekholm, 88 points in 82 games. He was great passer. 26 goals as well. So Ekholm had a fantastic season, and he's only 22. Bickle on 72 points is great, plus 28, doing what he's been doing for the last few years. Hansen on 48 points is a big surprise. It was also plus 21. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a 20-goal season from Akeem Hansen. He's definitely been getting better every year, so he's going to demand a decent chunk of money being an RFA this season. Goldman had 32 points in 45 games. He was pretty solid, but obviously those injuries definitely kept him from getting up to like 60, 70 points. So definitely hope that he's healthier for next year, but he is also a pending RFA, so we might have to pay big money to him. Jamal Hurd on 22 points is not too bad. A -1, surprisingly. I don't know how you become a minus on a team that's that good offensively and defensively, but still a solid season from Jamal Hurd, who was just called back up from the AHL last year. And yeah, he's been a decent kind of depth / fourth line option. Left wing side of things, Groshek on 83 points and 40 goals. Great season from Philip Groshek. Hopefully he continues to do that. And then Esteban Walter, despite missing 12 games, had 24 goals and 46 points. He had a pretty solid season as well. A little bit less of a showing than last season, but obviously if he was fully healthy, he should have probably had a rate around the same amount of points, in my opinion. Landon on 29 points in 59 games. Obviously, he got to play in like some really good roles. That's a pretty good depth option. And obviously, he played a lot because of the injury to Goldman. Raisin on 27 points is solid. 2 points in 3 games for Mishenko. He was -1 because obviously he was playing when we're losing games, so that makes sense. Right wing side of things, Jaquezie on 98 points and 32 goals. Really good season from Arthur. And then Aiden Irving always overshadows him. 48 goals, and he didn't even play the entire season. If he would have played all 82 games, he's definitely hitting 50. What a year for Aiden Irving. What a year again for a 32-year-old. That's insane. And then Wilson also had 83 points quietly. Damn. And 30 goals, I should say. Bulbrook on 53 points, including 26 goals this year because he got a lot of power play time with the injuries. Yeah, Bulbrook definitely should be getting more elevated ice time next year. He's becoming a pretty damn good goal scorer. And he's actually listed as a second-line forward, so we might have to make more hard decisions this offseason. But if we go to our forwards, you can see we had this much people above 70 points, so 6+ people above 70 points. But goal scoring wise, look at this. This is insanity. We literally had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 guys on 20+ goals. And then we had one that really came close with reason. So we nearly had 10 guys on 20+ goals. And then the other guys that didn't score that much only had almost right around 10 goals. Most of those guys didn't even play the full season. Wow. Like if Goldman plays a full season, Goldman probably gets like 16 to 20 goals. So we literally could have had like 12, 20 goal scores. What the hell, man? That's probably the most ridiculous team I've ever seen in the regular season, even though we technically didn't even win the President's Trophy. What about defensively? Let's go. Vandermeer's probably going to win a Norris, I think. 81 points in 82 games for Will Vandermeer, a +38. Holy crap, man. That's his best season yet, and Vandermeer is correct. How long is he signed for still? 2 more seasons. And we're going to have to pay him like $13 million. This team is going to get very pricey in the next few years. Just very pricey. Goddard on 54 points. That's pretty damn good for Goddard. That's why I wanted to sign him for multiple years, because I knew he was going to have a good year. And yeah, he's been getting better every season. So I do really like Goddard's play. Very good year from him. Vernarski on 29 points is also pretty good, +31. Scarlett 18 points, +19. Backer's been a great DFD, 15 points in 81 games and a +41. I believe he's now, yeah, he's a career +97, and he's only played 2 NHL seasons, which is insane. And we have Reese on 12 points, +8, not bad. And Greer only played the 1 game. Goaltending wise, we are the best defensive team in the league. And what a year for Bergfist. His numbers did drop off, but a 49-12-4 record, 7 shutouts, a 915 save percentage, and a 2.47 goals against. So is this a Vezina Trophy winning season for Per Bergfist? Probably. And then Mills really wasn't that great as a backup. He did have a winning record, but an 884 save percentage in your first season is not great. But he did pick up those 2 assists like Bergfist did as well. This team completely dominated. But the question is now, what about the rest of the league? Like, how did the two Koivisto brothers do? Okay, they both finished 1 and 2, of course. But Yanni Koivisto fell off in point production keys. He was on pace for 140 plus points, but he does finish with 126 of them, which is insane. But Pekka Koivisto finished over a goal a game, 85 goals in 82 games, which is absolutely insane as a 22-year-old. Wow. So Koivistos are running the league. And then Leo Carlson was number 3. Shane Collins up there. Avery Cummins. Wow. All right. A lot of 100-point guys. And, of course, Jaqueezi just missed out on it. Probably because of his injury, which kind of sucks. All right. Let's take a look at the best goal scorers. Obviously, yep, it's going to be Pekka and Yanni again. And then the next closest is Orlando Mickelson, who got injured in the last game of the season, I guess. Collins up there. Couple 50-goal scorers. Most assists for fun was Riley Falk. Yeah, Riley Falk definitely set up Koivisto quite a bit, I guess. That's insane. All right, let's take a look at some Selke candidates for fun. If we go to takeaways, based on faceoffs, Connor Bedard, and then probably Anton Liddell would be up there as well, my guess. You can also probably make an argument for Bachman because he's 57% on the draw. Most fights for fun. Gavin Weeks again, 35 fights. Jeez, man. This guy is completely cracked. 225 belly minutes. Wow, all right. From a defensive standpoint, did Vandermeer win another Norris? He probably... Oh, no. They're going to give it to Eric Boudens of the Flyers. Of course, it has to come down to a Flyers defenseman, but I think they might give it to Boudens. Obviously, 10 less points is a big gap, but the plus 63 to a plus 38. This game loves plus minus, so they're probably going to give it to Eric Boudens. Jeez, yeah, the Flyers have been great over the last 3 seasons as well. So, yeah, I think Boudens might end up winning it, but Vandermeer, in my opinion, definitely deserves it in a sense because of the point gap. But obviously, this game likes plus minus, so that kind of sucks. Korchinski also would be probably a finalist. But you also have guys like Minyukov quietly who also had great years. So there's that. From a goaltending perspective, the best goalie in terms of wins, Per Bergfist. And then it's Tommy Ladd of the Ducks. Where the heck is the best Flyers goalie? You think with the amount of wins it had, they would have a goalie up there? Hello? Who is the Flyers goalie? Oh, there he is. Stuart Rodney only played 52 games, but 33 wins. Okay. Kind of expected him to be higher in the lineup. Most shutouts was Per Bergfist. Best save percentage by a starter was Per Bergfist. And then the goals against average by a starter was Per Bergfist. So Per Bergfist is likely going to win the Vezina this season, which is fantastic, considering we just gave him a nice little trial run of a contract. Love to see it. Any goalie goals this year? No. Most assists. Spencer Knight, who's still playing at 37. Best rookie this season was Amir Granado of the Washington Capitals with 56 points. Then you had Adam Bolt with 51. All right. So there is that. Now the question is, who are we playing in the first round of the playoffs? And also, are we going to get cheesed in next episode? Leave your comments below. Do you think we're going to get cheesed? Do you think the Flyers get cheesed and we somehow win the Stanley Cup? Or do you think the Ducks are going to win the Cup this year because they deserve one? We're going to take on Chicago. Of course we are. We're going to take on Connor Bedard and his married men. We've played Chicago a lot of times in the playoffs before. They went 43, 32, and 7, so they had 15 less wins than us, which is insane. But they are 6-1 and 3 in their last 10 games going into the postseason. And looks like Eberle has made it into the playoffs as well, so we'll definitely take a look at how Eberle and stuff did in Boston in his first season as well. So let's actually go and do that first and foremost before I forget. So let's go to the Boston Bruins and see how Eberle did, and also Louis Vara for fun. just because obviously those guys were important pieces to our cup-winning teams. I almost forgot that Kagorodov also is in Boston too, so Boston's got a decent chunk of our former guys like Kagorodov, Eberle. Enroth got sent to the AHL, I think, which is ridiculous, but so Quinton Eberle finished with 57 points in his first season in Boston, which is actually almost a career high for him, so good year from him. He was -9 though. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he could actually do good in the playoffs like he was with us. Yeah, Enroth got sent to the minors for no apparent reason. They had the cap space to call him up, but they didn't. I don't understand that. And then Louis Vara's just coming back from injury, had a pretty solid season. 15 points, plus 12. Pretty much what he would normally do with us. So, shout out to Louis Vara. Let me actually go to the AHL here quickly. Providence. Yeah, look at that. Why? What's the point on that? He's literally making $10.75 million. You have the cap space to call him up. But you literally traded away assets to get him for the playoffs, and you send him to the AHL. I don't even understand what I'm looking at, and that is ridiculous that they would do that. They better call him up for the playoffs, because if they don't, that logic is very, very flawed. Wow. All right. Anyways, let's take a look at what Chicago's looking like in terms of actually the simulation first, like season-wise. Curious on their goals for and stuff like that. Obviously, we're the best in everything, so I'm not expecting them to be very good in some areas, but you never know. So they scored 3.55 goals per game, which is not too bad. They gave up 3.28, which is not too bad. Their power play, 21.7%. Pretty successful. And their penalty kill was not very good, though. 79.6%. 5 short-handed goals. All right. What is this team looking like? Obviously, we played them a decent chunk in the playoffs before, so they could have a very similar roster. Obviously, Connor Bedard should be there still. I would assume Guerin would be there still, but I'm not too sure if they've changed up their roster a bit. This is pretty similar to what we've seen before, I think, because Angelo Giordano, Connor Bedard, Dante Guerin, I'm pretty sure those guys have been there for quite a while. Alex Holtz as well was there last time we played them, I'm pretty sure. Desmond Green I don't recognize, and same with Ville Jokela. Maybe Ville Jokela I recognize, I don't know, but I don't recognize Desmond Green for sure. Third line, Magnus Dansk, Joaquin Gertzen, which is a weird name to say, Samu Salminen. Fourth line, Colton Quick. And we have another Joaquin Shovel Dave. So 2 Joaquins on this team, which means we're going to get screwed. Gabriel Dodge is their fourth liner. Alright. It's kind of weird that they have 2 Joaquins, because you don't see that name in this game super, super often. But that team definitely is not as good as they were when we were playing them in like the conference finals, I think, or we playing them in the second round. They definitely fell off quite a bit. And Connor Bedard's already 32, so he is definitely getting up there in age. From a defensive standpoint, Korchinski and AJ Couturier. Korchinski's been there for a long time, his entire career, I think. Preston Cassian and Anthony Cristoforo. And a top 6 pairing of Gordon Amonte and Shannon Baumgartner. I think those guys were there last time we played them. Baumgartner's a forward? Why is he on defense? They must have an injury. If they don't, I will be confused, but goaltending-wise, Logan Scarlett's still in Chicago, which is good to see because obviously that trade made sense for them, and they've held on to Scarlett ever since. Didn't have a super good regular season this year compared to last year, an .899. Yeah, I feel like we might get cheesed by our former starting goaltender, but you never know. And they also have Artur Silovs. In terms of scratch people, yeah, Francisco Charpentier is a defenseman who is currently out with an injury, so that's why that forward's playing defense at the moment. Alright. Wonder how long term that guy's out for. But in general, this team is definitely not as good as they used to be. Like, they're very top 6 heavy. Not even top 6 heavy. They're very first line heavy. Like, their center depth drops off considerably after Connor Bedard. So, we'll see if we're able to not get cheesed. But let's take a look at the injury and see how long that defender's out for. Because if they have to play a forward as a defenseman against us, that might be the bane of their existence. And it looks like he might be out this entire round because he's got a concussion out till May 17th. So, yeah, I think he's out the entire round, which is great. So, that defender being a forward might actually help us out quite a bit because we should be able to score a decent chunk of goals against a forward playing defense unless he's actually good defensively too. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then the rest of the playoff tree, in case you guys wanted to know, Boston and Columbus, Buffalo and Ottawa. Philadelphia is going to be playing Pittsburgh, so the Battle of Pennsylvania, as Philadelphia looks to keep their season alive. And then you have the Islanders and Capitals, Western Conference, Anaheim, San Jose, Calgary, LA, us in Chicago, and Nashville and Colorado. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the first round of the playoffs against the Chicago Blackhawks as we look to beat Connor Bedard pretty much and his married men, because literally everybody else is not very good except for the rest of the guys on that top line. So hopefully we could take advantage of that and get to the next round, and hopefully the Flyers get knocked out quite early, because I am a little bit scared, obviously, because if they get all the way to a cup finals, we get to a cup finals, that's going to be an insane matchup, and I don't know what would happen in that case. But let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.